Hi everyone, welcome to another week of Check It Out, where I recommend titles for you to learn from, connect with, and explore. This week's title is Genesis Begins Again by Alicia D. Williams. This is a contemporary fiction book, and this book is amazing. Loved it. It is masterfully done. The author deals with some really heavy topics and balances it with some warmth and wit and humor. I couldn't put it down. I had so many emotions while reading it. This is the story of Genesis. Genesis tells her story in the first person. So it's filled with some slang, which gives it some authenticity and a very conversational tone, which I really enjoyed. I thought that was a really nice touch. The story begins in Detroit. Genesis has invited some friends over to hang out at her house. And when they arrive, all of her furniture has been put out on the lawn. And Genesis realizes that they've been evicted again. Her father has failed to pay the rent. He has a gambling and alcohol addiction, and all of their money has been spent on that. So the girls begin teasing her and making fun of her and focusing on her poor status and her dark skin color, which is a really big point of contention for Genesis. She's really upset about that. And she actually has a list that she keeps and just keeps adding to it. It's her 100 Reasons to Hate Genesis list. And so we see, like, from the very beginning, she is dealing with a lot of deep-seated self-loathing, which is really hard to read about, but by the end of it, you're really rooting for her to kind of come into her own and see her own beauty and understand that, everyone is different and that's something to be embraced. And I was really rooting for her on this journey. So Genesis and her mother decide to give her father a second chance, and he finds them a place to rent in Farmington Hills. And it's a really fancy, beautiful new place, and Genesis is super skeptical about it. She is waiting kind of for the other shoe to drop. She has been through this before. But she does allow herself to kind of go to school, make friends, cautiously, but she does, and that's really a beautiful part of the story. I loved the character interactions here. Sophia becomes one of her best friends, and a girl that's also not very comfortable in her own skin. Troy, who is her smart and friendly classmate turned tutor, and they have a really deep bond, and he has dark skin like she does too, and that's a big point in helping her understand who she is, which I really love their interactions too. And Miss Hill, her teacher, her chorus teacher, who I loved her teacher. Super positive interaction between them. Her music teacher introduces her to famous female icons like Billie Holiday and Ella Fitzgerald, and that's really where Genesis begins to shine. She finds her love of music, and that's how she starts embracing who she is. So you're really pulling for these positive characters to kind of negate those negative characters in the book, the ones that are talking to Genesis about all of her faults and flaws, and you're hoping that will drown out the bad, so that she can really embrace who she is and love who she is, because I really loved who she is. Content warnings. This book deals a lot with colorism, racism, bullying, parental verbal abuse. So there's really, really heavy topics, but this is a wonderful book. It's a necessary book. It's an important book. I loved it. And just FYI, it is on all the lists right now, all the award lists. It was a Newbery Honor book, and it just won the Coretta Scott King Award, and so many other ones. So this is a book to watch for sure. The themes of it are self-love. That's a big one, and being comfortable in your own skin and embracing who you are. So love this book. Read Alikes. Color Me In by Natasha Diaz. This is a really good book that also deals with the theme of colorism. It's also about friendship and new romance, so that's a good book as well. And Solo by Kwame Alexander. Love books by Kwame Alexander. I love the way that he writes. But a book that deals with Insta celebrity and parental addiction. So very important topics as well. With that, I hope you found something to book up your week. Thanks, everyone.